Good evening and welcome to the School District of Springfield Township's Board of School Directors Interim Board Meeting. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The reading of the mission statement. The mission of the School District of Springfield Township is to educate and develop all students as learners and citizens who are high-achieving, resilient, and responsible in a changing global community. Roll call. Mr. King? Or should we wait? Oh, we'll do a presentation before the vote. Okay.
Well, I couldn't hear Ken.
No roll call.
We can note who is here as of 7:15, and then after he comes in, you can note on the record of the minutes what time he arrives, or what time he connects with us on the phone.
Mr. Chapman. Here. Ms. Casalis. Mr. Lapidus. Here. Ms. Nelson. Mr. Rayer. Ms. Sarsfield. Here. Dr. Taratusky. Here. Mr. Taylor. Ms. Slapinski.
Announcements. The board, at its discretion, may videotape all or any portion of public board meetings subject to the limitations set forth in Policy 006.2, Broadcasting of Meeting. Board meetings will be broadcast on Friday afternoon following the board meeting. I have an administrative report from Dr. Hacker.
Hi, thank you, Mrs. Sarsfield. Welcome back, everyone, board members, to this first official board meeting after the start of a new school year. We were fortunate to welcome back all of our students. Our staff came in last week. The students came in seemingly very happy today. Hopefully it will last longer than a day or two. The staff was happy to greet them, and we're very pleased that we have our administrative house in order at each of our schools as well. And so all in all, I think it was a very, very productive and happy start to a brand new school year, and we're hoping it will be a good school year for everyone. So with that, what I'd like to do is share some information about some of the work that has been going on throughout the district, our summer maintenance and construction projects that have been taking place. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but it's some of the more important things that have been taken care of. I'm going to ask Mr. King, since he's also familiar with some of the projects after I'm done with the presentation, to just briefly cite some of the other things that you haven't seen captured in the photos. So this is the library floor, the way it looked when it was stripped down. We needed new carpeting, and all these projects, just to remind everyone, were all vetted through the property committee of the board, and the expenditures for these projects were all approved by the property committee members. So this is what the high school library floor looked like when it was stripped down right before the carpeting was installed. And this is what it looks like completed. Brand new carpeting in there. Really has a nice fresh look, right, Dr. Rittenhouse?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, brand new carpeting. And another portion of it is the new flooring that was put into the makerspace portion. The maker studio, when you walk into the high school library, is on the right-hand side. A lot of classes come in there and do robotics and STEM activities, so we put a brand new flooring in there as well.
Yeah, it doesn't do it. It's a smooth floor, so if you have robots or anything along those lines, you know, and all the objects that are all over the place.
The Spiros and so forth. They travel easily on that type of flooring, so it really is a bright new space, and it looks terrific, and we're very pleased with the brand new. This is the high school pool regrouting project, and as you can see, the guys are hard at work with all the regrouting. It's a very painstakingly detailed process to ensure that that work is taken care of, and then after it's all done, we have a brand new looking pool area, so we're all ready to go for swim and for water polo. This is the old floor on the left in the middle school cafeteria, and on the right you see a picture of the guys at work literally jackhammering the floor, the old subfloor that was up. We had extensive issues, even though that cafeteria floor is less than a decade old. It's about 6-7 years old. We had a lot of issues with the subflooring and the concrete because of water that was actually bubbling up through the surface. And unfortunately, when it was installed previously, it was not installed correctly, which led to some of those problems, water getting in between cracks and so forth. So obviously that was a primary consideration to make sure that not only did we take care of that, make sure we got to the root of the problem, but we needed to make sure that whatever installation they did, we wouldn't have that same problem resurfacing. So it took some extra special care, and you're going to see actually a change order on tonight's board meeting agenda because of the additional work that it required to make sure that we did it the right way. And I was part of the design team, so to speak, along with Mr. Thorne, and happily several of our students from the middle school who actually selected the brand new flooring in the middle school cafeteria. So this gives you an idea of the look. It's a blue color, it's surrounded by the yellow line, and it really does look quite nice in that cafeteria now. Those 8th graders did a great job of looking at a number of different color samples and tiles in order to pick out what their new flooring would look like.
We actually used the same floor in high school, the blue.
Oh, so that's the same one in the Maker Studio. Excellent.
What is the yellow line? Is that out of bounds?
Just to kind of set it off and give it a nice little frame. So the next several photos really show kind of different stages throughout the summer. Remember, after graduation was over with, we were able to start on ripping up the football field and getting in our new conditions so that we could set the stage for a brand new turf field. So these are just some of those photos. There's only a couple of them, but I wanted you to see the extensive work that took place over the summer. Move. There we go. And this kind of shows how they lay all the groundwork. The basin on the bottom hand left is the stormwater basin to capture the stormwater, which is required by the township. The fill that they put in, it's really an extensive job, and we were promised that they would pretty much have that turf laid by the time school started, even though we're not quite ready to play. We had some issues with the track, but I understand those are now resolved. This shows some more of that work, and you see on the left-hand side, they lay that kind of a surface. Ken, do you know what that surface is made
It's
of?
multiple different layers of stone.
Different layers of stone.
And the final layer that they get real smooth.
Yeah, that's the final layer on the left of the smooth surface that's put in before they actually install the turf. And then you can see they do everything they can before they're ready to actually lay down those large rolls, which you see in the bottom left, to getting to the bottom right, which is what that turf looks like after it's laid on the field. And here it is with our Spartan logo. What's that?
You got the two of the new light standards.
And the light standards is a little hard to see the top of them, but we put new lighting poles in because we had an issue with those, so that was part of that project as well. So it's all coming along. We're waiting now for the track to get completed as well. We're hoping within the next couple of weeks all of that work will be done too. So Ken, do you want to add information about some of the other projects for which we don't have photos? I just want to thank Craig for getting
glamorous, but equally as important. We replaced the roof at the high school auditorium. We had some issues with that, and now we're also doing some work, as you know, we're doing some lighting work. That's going to start soon there, so we thought, Let's get to the roof first. So we took care of that. That job went real well. Also, one of the large projects is the HVAC at the high school. We were doing, replacing the boilers, the chillers, some end units, and as well as some controls. So that work is going, the chiller's in. So that is progressing along pretty well. We're very pleased with where they are right now. Some inside jobs. If you're all familiar with the high school municipal tunnel. That has drainage issues coming off of 309. Craig Thorne and his crew actually dug a trench and filled it with stone and trying to mitigate some of those water issues. As well as there's another downspout in the back of the middle school near the Gaga pit that is also putting water into a storage area. So that's just a couple of things, aside from all of the cleaning that's going on with our partner Service Master, as well as the grounds crew trying to keep the grounds caught up with all the rain that we had. So it's been pretty busy as well as all of the projects.
And I just want to add to that, you know, while we do unfortunately have to go out to bid on a number of these projects and bring in obviously outside contractors for the larger work, Craig and his men really do, as Ken just mentioned, attend to a lot of the work that's done around the district, saving us a lot of money so that we don't have to bring in outside folks in order to pay them to do that work. So it really is a great benefit to hire really wonderful maintenance people who are able to do that work for us. So a lot gets accomplished in the summer. The buildings all look terrific and we're ready to go. And like I said, we're eagerly anticipating within a few weeks being able to use that new football stadium for the first time and welcome everyone into that. That'll be exciting.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I've had, excuse me, I've had this asked of me a couple of times. Can you just briefly outline, in no detail, just the upcoming larger projects and what the general time frame of those is? Because I've been asked about when is the driveway getting reconfigured, the new fields, all of that.
What's happening now is phase 2, which is the mechanical upgrades at the high school. Actually, phase 1 and phase 2. That work is going to continue throughout the year because they have to do some things in the classrooms. So that's the rest of the HVAC process. The final part is the site work, which is phase 3. That work will begin right after school, right after graduation. They'll start tearing up the front of the building, front of the high school in the circle area, and start working on the new entrance and the new parking lot. That comes first. They're going to do, and then they will start working on some of that site work along the fields and start moving those fields. That comes 2 years from now. So first they're going to do the driveway, they're going to do that area and get the parking lot, hopefully get that connector piece from the parking lot up to the maintenance garage, get that piece going. Then they'll have the parking lot available when the kids come back. They're also going to start work on the field hockey field around the same time, try to get that ready in time for field hockey. In addition, the parking lot, the existing parking lot now will be taken over, a good chunk of it will go to the contractors. That's where they'll have their staging area for materials and supplies. They'll have their trailers in that section. In addition, we're going to leave the current driveway open. That's going to be construction access only. And well, not only, I shouldn't say that. It's going to be partly construction access. There's also going to be, alongside of that, there's going to be a temporary roadway. We need to put a temporary roadway to connect Paper Mill Road with Springfield Way. So all of that's going to then begin 2 years from now. The auxiliary gym will begin to be torn up. The inside of the school, there's a lot of renovations that are going to go in with the existing facilities. That will begin 2 years hence. So all that phasing work has begun. All that planning has begun. That is Dewey Engineering is doing all that phasing, how to get all of these construction workers tearing apart the building and getting kids in and out and through the building at the same time. So that's the broad.
Will begin actually next September.
That's exciting. Mr. Wilson.
So are we calling Mr. Rayer? Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks, Ben. So now we can ask, are there any public comments on agenda items?
We're just very grateful for being here.
It's okay.
There don't appear to be any. Okay. All right. So we will move on to new business. Personnel.
You're going to have to speak up.
Okay.
Speak up and move your microphone.
Is this better? Okay, yeah. Hi, Ben. Can you hear me now? Okay, good. All right. New business. Number 1, personnel attachment, recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the following personnel as presented in the attachment: administrative personnel, certificated personnel, support personnel, extra pay or extra responsibilities, conference workshop attendance. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman.
Mr. Lapidus. Mr. Rayer. Dr. Taratusky. Ms. Sarsfield.
Aye. Number 2, confidential settlement and release agreement, recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the confidential settlement and release for student 20170905-01.
Excuse me, Ms. Sarsfield, I hate to interrupt you, but I'm going to have to ask our solicitor, Mr. Sultanic, to weigh in on this particular motion. I believe we're going to have to hold off on this since we don't have enough board members who would be able to vote to approve this particular motion. It's item number 2, confidential settlement and release agreement.
We have 5 board members. Understood. Okay. We're going to have to hold off then voting on this particular agreement based upon the fact that there will not be able to be 5 affirmative votes for this agreement.
So my question is, hopefully then when we vote at the September board meeting and we do have enough
We could
board
ratify
members,
it.
we can retroactively approve this settlement
We
so it
can.
won't impact the child's schooling.
We can,
Thank you.
if the board is comfortable with moving on that issue. But we will need 5 votes on this.
Yes.
I'm getting a quizzical look from our,
I'm not sure what to do with the motion now.
We're going
Are we
to
to table
table
the
the
motion?
motion until
Yes.
the next
or the,
meeting.
yes.
So we need a vote to table.
Or if the person who made the motion and the second.
Nobody
We
yet.
didn't
Nobody
have
yet.
it.
We didn't have a
We
motion.
didn't go that far yet.
No.
Okay, so if the administration is not recommending that, you're just withdrawing it from
We're
the
just going to
agenda.
withdraw the motion and hold off until September 19th,
That's fine.
okay? Mr. Ray, are you clear on what just transpired?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Number 3, Cristaldo Associates, Inc. contract, recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the agreement between the School District of Springfield Township and Cristaldo Associates, Inc. for on-site interpreting services for the 2017-2018 school year as per the attachment H. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman? Mr. Lapidus? Mr. Rayer?
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky? Ms. Sarsfield?
Aye. Number 4, professional development training agreement. Board of School Directors approves the professional development training agreement between Springfield Township School District and MCIU professional learning staff as per the attachment I. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Second. Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman? Mr. Lapidus? Mr. Rayer? Dr. Taratusky? Ms. Sarsfield?
Aye. Number 5, part-time independent contractors 2017-2018. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the part-time independent contractor agreements for August 28, 2017 through June 30th, 2018 for sexuality education and vision orientation and mobility services. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Second. Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chapman? Mr. Lapidus? Mr. Rayer?
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky? Ms. Sarsfield?
Aye. Number 6, high school library carpet change order. Recommended motion. The Board of School Directors approves the negative change order with Shaw Industries, Inc. for time saved in removing and returning furniture in the reduction amount of $2,200. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Any questions? No.
Mr. Chapman? Mr. Lapidus? Mr. Rayer?
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky? Ms. Sarsfield?
Aye. Number 7, middle school cafeteria floor replacement additional services. Recommended motion. Board of School Directors approves the change to the project totaling $18,811.16 to the following vendors. A, additional services provided by JPS Construction Company to remove damaged subfloor and install new concrete in the amount of $15,445. B, change order to Shaw Industries, Inc. for additional prep work on damaged subfloor in the amount of $3,366.16. Is there a motion? Motion. Is there a second? Second. Any questions?
Mr. Chapman? Mr. Lapidus? Mr. Rayer?
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky? Ms. Sarsfield?
Aye. Any public comments on non-agenda items? Future meeting dates, the school board meeting will be held Tuesday, September 19th, 2017, 7 p.m. here in the Fries Memorial Lobby. And then there will be an interim board meeting on Tuesday, October 3rd at 7 p.m. here in the Fries Memorial Lobby. There are no board committee meetings scheduled at this time, and we are adjourned. Welcome back, everyone.